All right, we're live here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Uninformed Catholic.
And welcome to the uninformed music producer who it was really bad doing setup today. It was awful.
Good start, day one. We'll chalk it up to Satan attacking us.
Yeah, we'll chalk it up to that rather than Jeremy just forgetting everything.
Nice. All right, my name's Jedediah Arnold.
And I'm Jeremy Lobenberg, and I'm actually not Jewish.
He's Jewish. Cool. So the title of our show is The Uninformed Catholic. I think we'll get into that in just a second, but let's go ahead and talk about who we are. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So, Jeremy.
So I'm Jeremy, and for 3 years of my life, I gave up some time to go be a focus missionary, and I worked on college campuses trying to help students get closer to the faith and teaching them how to evangelize and things of that nature. And I was born and raised Jewish and Catholic, which, is where that Jewish joke came from before.
It's kind of fun. He, half Jewish friend over here. Cool. Well, I'm Jed, and I was also a focus missionary for a couple of years there with Jeremy. I've been a campus minister for a couple of years, and now I'm a web developer. We are pretty much just normal Catholic guys who knew each other through missionary work, and we listen to and read a lot of the same things, and wanted to give our take on some of it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the time, I don't know about Jed, but I'll be listening to to different podcasts that are out there, and I'll just think to myself, man, I really wish they covered this particular subject. And I think it'll be good because Jed and I will be able to discuss those, and we'll cover them.
For sure. So that's why we are called the Uninformed Catholic. Not only are we uninformed, we are going to inform uninformed people.
And we're also Catholic.
And we're Catholic. And it'll probably be a very Catholic show. We hope to cover a lot of current events that are coming up, a lot of things here and now. We're going to try and get on top of things as soon as we can, when we can. Obviously, we both have lives, but we'll see what we can do and see if you guys like it. First, I just want to apologize for this first show. It was unplanned, and please don't rate us poorly over it.
Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty much all I got. Jeremy, what's your background?
My background, I kind of already started talking about it. I was born and raised Jewish and Catholic. I'm probably the only bar mitzvah focus missionary who ever lived. Not that we would have lived for that. It was only like 20 years of focus now. So,
what about like educationally, career, future?
Yeah, educationally, I went to Ramapo College of New Jersey. I have a bachelor's of arts in music and music production, and that's what I'm hoping to go into now. Music production, audio production stuff, courtesy of That's why I'm the one making this or producing this show. We can edit stuff, by the way.
Yeah, we can. We'll cut some stuff.
We can cut a lot
when I
of
get
stuff
up to
down.
go to the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I born and raised Catholic, cradle Catholic, good Catholic parents. Went to University of Maryland, got a bachelor's in psychology actually. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. And been working in ministry and switched over to doing a lot of the web stuff, building websites, software engineering. Hoping that I can support a family off that.
Yeah, that's
about us.
That's
not
about
that
us.
much. Yeah.
As you can tell, we don't really know ourselves all that well.
Yeah, I got to pray about that one.
Yes.
Cool. So we're going to be doing whatever we feel like doing, and if we ever get listeners, we're going to hopefully cover some of the stuff you guys want us to, if we're interesting.
I think we could actually talk about specific segments that we'll do. So by that I mean we'll have maybe some general podcasts that we do, and then we'll have maybe like differently themed ones. So we'll be something like what's up with the Pope for the week? Like what endeavors has the Pope been involved in? What new either controversial thing has he done, or things that he does that are kind of polarizing between the more traditional Catholics and those who are maybe of a more liberal orientation, things like that. Or
Interesting way to say that.
yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah, for sure. So I think we want to cover a lot of current events, kind of whatever's going down currently right now. Biggest thing that just happened was Notre Dame. Just burned two days ago.
Yeah, it just burned 2 days ago, and
Yep.
I listened to the podcast last night with Taylor Marshall and Tim Gordon, and they were talking about the possibility of this having been arson. And it's actually controversial in itself whether it's arson or not because of the rising Islamic population there, and it would kind of be implying that it could have been an act of terror, directly related or correlated to there being a growing Islamic population in France. As
We are getting controversial right now.
We are getting controversial right now. Maybe we should have waited for this. We can edit this out.
No, that's good. That's good.
edit this
So let's talk heroes. Actually, now that you brought up Tim and Taylor, go ahead. Give us like maybe top 5 or 6 people you like.
Okay, yeah, I like Tim and Taylor, as
Obviously.
we've established. I guess on the more, middle of the road, more accessible podcasters, I like Patrick Coffin a lot. I actually had been listening to Patrick Coffin for years since he was the host on Catholic Answers, so I'm very familiar with his voice. It's music to my ears. Let's see. I also like Father Chad Ripperger, who is you can find a lot of his stuff on the traditionalist channel Sensus Fidelium, which Jed and I referenced in our first podcast that will never be posted. And he's actually an exorcist who lives out in the Midwest, and he has like perpetual faculties to perform solemn rite exorcism whenever he sees fit. And he just gives a whole lot of parish missions and stuff. He talks a lot about demonology and, also just general issues that, of like orthodoxy and the importance of orthodoxy and, all that kind of stuff.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
What about I know you like Michael Voris?
Yeah, Michael Voris is pretty cool.
And
Oh, man,
Matt?
he's yeah.
Michael Matt.
Yeah, Michael Voris and Michael Matt. So Michael Voris from Church Militant. My favorite segment that he does is the Vortex, just short, sweet, to the point. I like about Michael Voris. I like how he doesn't candy coat anything, and he's not afraid to say what's on his mind. And Remnant TV, Michael Matt. He's pretty good too. I discovered him fairly recently, and pretty much the same as Michael Voris. And it's really interesting because there's been like all these guys have now networked up, and they all tend to be on each other's shows, and it seems to be like there's a traditionalist community forming on YouTube, and that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I'm was a little more liberal than Jeremy. Recently, he was more liberal than me. Way before that, we'll talk the 2016 election sometime.
I don't want to.
I really like Matt Fradd, the Matt Fradd Show, Pints with Aquinas. He's kind of what got me into the podcasting in general with that, and from there it just got more and more traditional and made a lot more sense. He had Pat Coffin on a while ago, probably a couple of years ago, and that's how I got into Pat Coffin. And then Pat Coffin had Taylor and Tim on, and ever since then they're like the heroes. They're the ones I turn to. I try and watch all their broadcasts. They do it right. Yeah, those are the main guys. I like a lot of the theologians, new theologians today, but the more I read and I study, the more weak they kind of seem. Even though a lot of their stuff's good, and just you got to be careful with any of that. And I'm talking like Ted Sri, Tim Gray, Trent Horn. It's pretty. They're pretty good. We have some disagreements, but overall, So that's where I'm a little more liberal than Jeremy.
Yeah.
But I just started getting into the stuff he told me. So I know I really like LifeSite News and 1 Peter 5. Unfortunately, I don't really know the names of the people. I'm just starting to learn, and I just got Twitter because of Catholic Twitter. So I'm trying to keep up and follow and learn names. There's a lot to catch up on. Being young, we're both pretty young for all of this, and we're trying to catch up on everything that happened in the last 60 years, plus the current events, and we just can't keep up like some of the guys yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah, at this time, it just seems like more and more crazy current events are happening. They're happening faster than we can even try to keep up with. So
yeah, it's wild. I mean, some of the things that are going down. One of the ones we'll probably talk about real soon is Pope Francis kissing the feet of the Sudan president and vice presidents, and that didn't get like any attention.
No, it didn't. It was so strange, too.
Yeah, it's funny. So the kissing of not getting to kiss his ring got a bunch of attention, and then that got like none by anyone really. So I don't know. Maybe it's just not that weird at this point, but I thought it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. You could have seen the text message Jed sent me in response, but we'll leave that.
Yeah, Jeremy keeps me up to date on the Google News.
Every
we'll
day.
talk about that soon. But anyway, that's a little about us, some of our heroes, some of our background. However, we put this up, probably YouTube and a podcasting station. Hosting service. I do know a little bit about it. We'll we'll get it up and we'll try and make ourselves accessible for at least a little bit of questions and stuff. Try and get back to anyone who does end up listening to this. If you're listening to this one, that is amazing. Thank you for listening. This is new to us, so be patient, give us advice, and we're happy to take it.
Yep, and even moving forward, we're even hoping to get things up. Like we're going to try to get some video up and whatnot. For now, we're having a couple of technical problems preventing that from happening, but we will be converting this to a video podcast. So
that's good to know. I thought it was just because the background was bad.
Well, the background's pretty bad too.
Right now we're doing this in his bedroom, so we're going to work on getting each of us a situation where we can sit. I'm moving soon, but we'll get a situation where we can sit, each have a camera, and with an at least acceptable background to look into. I got to get some recording stuff before I get going here. Cool. We might cut out some of this. We might just leave it because anyone who's listening to this is going to be maybe 10 people tops.
Yeah.
And OG, and then they'll go back and hear this and hopefully realize how much better we got over the years.
I'm sure we'll realize how much better we got because right now we're just kind of like...
The first one's never good, ever.
Yeah.
And I accept that.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
Yeah. And we'll be trying to link up with some of the newer guys coming out. I'll be working with at least one priest on his video. I mean, he's going to do a YouTube channel. I'm going to try and get him to turn it into a video podcast. Don't tell him, though. And hopefully a couple others that we know of coming out. So that's it.
Yeah, and Jed's probably going to be spearheading this largely. I'll see who I can link up with when I get home because, we're going to be worlds apart.
We have very different future plans, but we're going to try and make this happen very regular.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time.
Cool. Well, thanks for listening. Feel free to drop us some questions.
All right, guys. See you. Signing off.